This is The Sport, an open and honest conversation about life and love and everything in between with me, STL Yamumo. Coming up on The Sport.
But one of the things I realized was I used to take rejection to heart. And something as simple as I got an answer wrong, like I raised my hand, I answered it was wrong, and I felt like I was worthless. And then I used to have this designated toilet.
Wow.
Where I used to cry. And it was, guys, I'm not saying at once a week when I used to feel like crying. No, it was a daily thing. Like Monday to Friday, every break time.
So the mother used to hate me for some weird reason.
Wow.
I don't know why. But the mother used to hate me. So the door bursts open. The mother is there. He's like, so this guy, will call him, let's call him Peter. So the mother is like, Peter, ebu toka. And you, I don't want you to get married to my son.
Wow.
So that's another rejection. I was like 16, 17, maybe thereabout.
And I didn't know how a man should treat a woman.
Yeah.
I had never seen it, and it hit me. I was like, why? Because it seemed so beautiful. It wasn't even about, oh, alikuwa napika, oh, alikuwa na... No, like, it was so beautiful. Seeing her serving someone she loved and seeing this man serving her because he loved her. And I was like, that is what I want.
The conversation continues.
Yeah.
We're talking about daddy issues, and I am with Shiki and Spontaneous having this particular conversation because apparently our dads decided kufanya ile kitu.
Let's make a toast.
They upped and left and made us glorified messes.
Yeah.
Oh, but you guys, my dad didn't up and leave.
Okay,
My
yeah.
dad...
It was complicated, but let's just say our dads were absent in our lives.
They were
and,
absent,
that made us feel a certain type of a way, and also in how we reacted to certain situations.
Right.
So, before we went for the break, you were talking about how you used to react in certain situations.
So Spontaneous was talking, and I just realized I was also very emotional in primary school. And I always used to relate it to, I hadn't like developed emotionally, so I was still trying to figure it out. But one of the things I realized was I used to take rejection to heart. And something as simple as I got an answer wrong, like I raised my hand, I answered it was wrong, and I felt like I was worthless, like a worthless piece of shit that didn't need to exist in this life. But then I can't cry in class, so what do? I wait till break time, and then I used to have this designated toilet.
Wow.
Where I used to cry, and it was, guys, I'm not saying at once a week when I used to feel like crying. No, it was a daily thing, like Monday to Friday, every break time I used to be in that specific toilet crying. And you'd wonder, kwani no one was hearing you? Yes, because I'm a silent crier. So I cry, bell in a ring, I wipe my tears wash my face, go to class. And that was my life. Wow. And I was like, why didn't I think that was an issue? One, why did I hate myself that much? It could be I wanted to be someone's friend and they didn't want to be my friend. Or I shared my break with someone and someone didn't share the break with me. So any form of rejection, even from a teacher, like if I felt like they were giving someone else attention more than me, I was like, why not me? Why are you not loving on me the way you're loving on me? You know, like I wanted
attention. I wanted attention too.
I wanted attention, but not too much.
You wanted the attention, but you also don't want to be the center of attention.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Yeah. And I really wanted it more from like high authorities like teachers or like popular kids in class or like this guy who everyone used to like, right? So I actually have this story where in class, I don't even know what I was doing liking boys. I was too young. I was too young for that. But from pre-3 kindergarten to like class 5, I had a crush on this one boy, and it was because he was the most popular boy in class. And he was the most, like, everyone wanted this guy. And I think I wanted him because also everyone wanted him. And for me, it became personal because every other chick he used to like, I used to hate that chick with a passion.
Wow.
It was like those soaps you used to see. Like, I was the villain. My friend. But then chini ya maji. Like I'd hit on them chini ya maji, right? I tried to upstage them. I tried to like try and be prettier than them. If they're like, oh, she's not pretty, I'm like, but you haven't seen me. Like, look at my hairstyle. Look at the way I look good today. Kind of situation. So I remember in class 5, there was this chick who, she was also popular. She was pretty. They used to like each other, and I noticed it. Na ilikuwa inaniuma. I hated every bit of that relationship. So the guy used to sit on one corner of the class and the chick on the other corner, and they used to pass each other letters. But somehow those letters used to pass through me. like they had to pass through me to get to the other person, because I was somehow at the center of the line of transit or something. So these letters passed, and at some point I started getting curious, so I started reading the letter. And oh my god, the pain. I was choked, I was suffering, I was like, what is this? So my head, again, I'm small, so don't judge me. My head was telling me, you have to stop this. So I have this very bright idea. Not so bright, that was dumb, but in my head, it was bright. I was like, when this guy, let's call him James, when James sends this letter, keep it, write another letter.
I saw that coming.
Write another letter as James. And then keep that letter, like that letter was dedicated to you, right? But of course I knew it wasn't mine. So I wrote that letter. I was like, oh, actually I've changed my mind. I don't like you anymore. Keep away from me. In fact,
Shiki,
I don't
you
even
Wow.
Till date, I hate myself for this. Either way. So I'm like, I don't even like you anymore. I think I even wrote, no, I didn't write that I like Faith. No, I didn't write that. I don't even like you anymore. I don't want to be sharing. But they're sharing your break with like
Was
a
a big
significant
deal.
It was a big deal. So I don't even want to share my break with you anymore. Don't talk to me. Don't write letters to me anymore. I poured my heart on that letter. Nikakunza vizuri, kapitisha, right?
Wow.
So kupitisha, I realized that time there wasn't a teaching class. So kupitisha, I waited to see her reaction. She was in shock, and then she started crying. Now listen. That's when I realized, oh shoot, like you didn't cover your tracks, because I didn't try to change my handwriting. I didn't try to like make it look like he's, you know, like I was like, oh god.
So
and then she starts crying. Listen, when the popular chick cries in class, everyone wants to know what's up. And anyone who made the popular chick cry hates. As in, I was like, what the hell? So she was asked, she gave the letter. Now everyone is reading the letter, and I'm like, God. So someone is like, this is not James's handwriting. I'm like, oh god. So, like, I was literally sitting on my desk hyperventilating. I want to run this yet. So I'm like,
This is super hilarious.
I'm like, what in the hell is this? So this chick who's like, this is not James's handwriting, is now saying, able to turn around, and we're going to look for
Whose handwriting this is?
I'm like, Jesus, if there is a way.
Just make me
But I
disappear.
was like, God please, God,
And
God
then-
please, you know.
Do you realize at that particular time, you get to pray the most sincere prayer?
I wouldn't even I wouldn't even like James anymore. I would, you know, like I was doing those things. I was like, oh my god. So they actually go around. These people are dedicated. We were like 30 kids in that class, and they still went round. Like that break time was a witch hunt. So they go around. They eventually get to me, and I think this chick knew it was me from how I was acting, because I was trying to avoid them touching my books. And she was like, we're going to, and then she grabbed the book, opened, looked at the handwriting, and compared it to the note. She was like, it's Shiki. Okay, then I wasn't called Shiki, but she was like, it's Shiki, it's Shiki. Oh my god. So this popular chick is crying. I'm trying to say it's not me, it's not working. So now I'm saying it's not me, I'm sorry, right? So listen, there's more. Okay. Sandra, so everyone is telling this chick, she's called Sandra, everyone is telling Sandra, go to the teacher and report. I'm like, wouldn't it be incriminating herself? And then I realized, no, because that letter doesn't show her and this guy were in a relationship. It just shows that I was malicious.
Yeah.
So she actually went and reported me to the class teacher. The class teacher came. bet me a good one. Like, it was a proper beating. It was, you know, the slap and then the backhanded kind of slap. It was bad.
I honestly think you decided to be a lawyer from there.
There's more. My mom was called. My mom was like, I don't need to be called to school because of issues like this. The next time I'm going to be called to school, I'll beat you in front of the whole assembly. And my mom is ninja. I knew she will do that. She also took me to the principal's office. She beat me, and 2 other teachers beat me. And I'm like,
and now you're the laughing stock of the class.
Right? And now I'm the most hated chick in class. And the guy who I liked doesn't want anything to do with me anymore. So this whole story was to say that that for some reason I felt like if this guy didn't like me, my whole world was crashing.
Yeah.
And I needed to be liked by this specific person, and I went to some weird for a class 5 girl, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, why was a class 5 girl thinking of trying to destroy this other girl? Like, why was I even trying to compete with someone for someone? I don't know. Just thinking about it now, it seems really...
I'm glad we're able to laugh about it right now, but looking back, it was such a sad situation.
It is.
But then it was. But then
Now that Shiki has mentioned that, it has just reminded me. So you see this whole abortion story. This is what happened. When I was in class 6, I had a best friend. And then this best friend had this guy who was crushing on her. This guy, according to me, was a cheat and a liar because he was hanging out with every other chick. So what was I doing for my best friend? I was protecting her, telling her, don't get involved with this guy. He's not a serious guy, you know. And manze, I was such an advocate back then, you know, because of this and this and this. Do not engage. And she
you have evidence.
And she listened. You know, this guy even gives different girls his jacket. Can't you see? You know, like he goes home with different girls every. Can't you see? So what did my best friend do? My best friend listened to me. But she really liked this guy. So fast forward to 1 year later. Class 7. Oh gosh. Class 7 Ishapo. This guy, I started liking this guy.
Oh.
I started having a major crush on this guy. And he had a crush too.
Trouble.
You know, I forgot about the whole class 6 thingy. Somewhere in class 7, we've grown up, you know. She's no longer my best friend. Somehow we just stopped being buddies. And then there's this crush happening. And we both loved reggae.
Oh, okay.
There's this specific song we loved. We used to like tunarab blackboard to kimba your song pamoja with a guy, and that's how it started. And then eventually he asked me out.
And you said yes.
Man, I'm grown. I'm in class. I'm grown. Yes. I was like, yeah, sure, we can. So we started hanging out more because again, he wasn't so good with schoolwork, but I was, and I was like, I really want you to help me learn a few things. And he was a people's person, so I'm like, at least if he's a people's person, I'll also get to be a people's person, and I will fit in because it's him.
Yeah,
my friend. The mere fact that we started being close and started hanging out led to that whole abortion rumor story, you know, the page story.
Yeah.
So this lady, so I was best friends with, so let's say Alice. So Alice is being crushed on by my best friend who's a guy.
Who's Kevin.
So Kevin is crushing on Alice. Every letter Kevin writes, I read first before Alice gets it.
Wow.
That was my work was to edit. So I edit for him. I'm like, this looks really nice, and then I pass it off.
And you
to
like
Alice.
Kevin?
Yeah,
you like Kevin?
No, me and Kevin are best friends.
Okay.
So now Alice has this other lady friend called who now? Who was once my best friend.
Maya.
Oh, okay.
Maya. So Maya was once my best friend back in class 6. But now they're tight with Alice.
Okay.
So Alice is angry at me because I'm best friends with the guy she's dating. Okay. And so they come together, you know, with now my ex best friend, who was Maya.
Maya.
Yeah. So now there are 3 actually, because there's now another lady who's also part of that. So they sit
Bogie.
down. Bogie manze. They sit down. So there's this other guy, Maya's guy, but not really Maya's guy, because we ended up being tight. So now Alice knows another guy from a different school. So they plan. They're like, I'll forget, I think, my book. I will go and ask Rachel, to go and pick it up. And then there'll be a CD on the table.
Like, trust condoms. Okay.
Oh my god.
So me, I get there.
And you're in class 7.
I'm in class 7.
CDs are a big deal. Yeah.
It's a huge
But in our
deal.
school,
yeah.
but then in our school it wasn't, because guys were selling drugs, guys were dating, like it wasn't.
Wow.
I think
Okay.
Which school did you go to?
Street kind of school, man.
I did.
Y'all were
I
gangsters up in
did.
there.
Yo, so I get there. I see the CDs. I'm not a liar. I'll just narrate what happened. I see the CDs. I pick the book. I bring the book to Alice. And then now the guy I went to pick the book from is probably called who? Brian. So Brian starts a story.
That?
You know, that Rachel was at my place. But that's planned.
Yeah.
You know? So me, Rachel, I'm like, yeah, I was at your place to pick a book that I was supposed to give Alice. But Alice says, no, kulikuwa na CD. So I'm like, and it didn't even hit me. How did she know there was a CD at Brian's place? And then I'm telling Brian, tell these guys nothing happened. Brian is like, you can never be too sure there was a CD. And that's how I became the lady
Pregnant.
who slept with Brian
And got pregnant.
got pregnant. And
Oh
after
my.
6 months, when my belly was not showing, they're like, maybe she's done something to it. Then by the ninth month, I had already aborted. By the time, since it's a neighboring school, so this school already knows what happened with Brian, and this school already knows who Rachel is. So the whole community is now aware of what went down.
Goodness. Okay, now that we're already talking about relationships, let's dive into it. And you get to be 18. Of course, relationships zina kick in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the dating situation like? For me, it was quite interesting. Mimi na Usain Bolt, same WhatsApp group.
Run!
I was
run away.
running, literally running.
Wow.
Every time, like, I'm dating this guy, Aki shows signs of being serious. Just signs to, like, yo, sijui introducing me, sijui to who, sijui hanging out with me more often than,
Oh god.
flea mode.
Wow.
I ran.
You have commitment issues.
Back then I had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I used to run. Yeah, a lot.
What about now? How does it look like now?
I will get to how now looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, but it reminds me of a story now that we were all you guys were talking about boyfriend issues. So I remember I had this there was this best friend I had. I think I was in high school. I think the last year of high school, and we used to stay in the same place. So if I need to go to the shop, I call this guy, hey, niaje nipeleke shop. If he needs to go to the shop, he calls me. We go to the shop, like,
Relationships are so
innocently.
easy.
Very easy. So one time this guy was going to the shop, so he passes by my place, alafu akakaa, and then he goes like, so I was doing something, so I tell him, let me finish, and then I take you to the shop. So as I'm doing my stuff, we are talking, stories, nini. So the mother used to hate me for some weird reason.
Wow.
I don't know why. But the mother used to hate me. So kidogo, the door bursts open. The mother is there. He's like, so this guy, will call him, let's call him Peter. So the mother is like, Peter, ebu toka. And you, I don't want you to get married to my son.
Wow.
So that's another rejection.
Wow.
Which, in as much as I was like 16, 17, maybe thereabout. I was maybe 17. So that's rejection.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, okay, it doesn't hit you that hard, but then the more you think about it, the more you're like, why did she act that way? Am I not good enough? it goes back to you feeling like you're not good enough.
Yeah.
So how was your dating? I mean,
I realized that as long as a guy liked me, then I liked them back. I know it sounds weird. But it was almost as if my opinions and thoughts didn't matter. That's how it started. My opinions and thoughts didn't matter. As long as I was liked, then we were kind of in a relationship. Do it make sense? Like,
it does.
I have been accepted and seen and noticed, and
So
that's
it is
all
okay.
I need.
Yeah.
And like a man has noticed me, then like why not? And the more I dated like that, the more I realized I deserved better. Those ones were not serious relationships. So my first serious relationship. No, let's go to the second one. The second serious relationship.
What happened to the first one?
I don't feel like my daddy issues showed up in my first one.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like they showed up in my second one. Why? Because this guy genuinely, completely loved me. Like, it was honest and sincere, and I thought something must be wrong. Right? That's when I can truly identify that there was, okay, now this is where my daddy issues was showing up. So this guy was perfect. This guy, the I love yous, the affirmations, he was perfect. And I still thought this guy would get me to a place where I'm completely like in love and blah blah blah, and then he'd leave me when I felt like I needed him the most, and there was no way I was going to be vulnerable. On having my walls up, I was like, what's wrong? Like, I even kept on telling him, I'm waiting for you to fuck up, I'm waiting for it, like I'm waiting. And he was like, and he did, he really genuinely did like me, but I was like, I couldn't bring my walls down to just accept it without thinking, you'll just up and live like my dad.
That was my exact
like my
worry,
dad.
because every time I thought someone was sincere, someone was really into me, I thought the next thing he's gonna do is gonna leave, and I didn't want him to leave, so I left fast.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was niko tu rada. I'm just waiting, like any sign for me to leave, to bolt away. Yeah. Wow. How was it for you dating?
Me, aside from the crush in primary, I didn't need men. I did not need men.
Can I just point that out a bit?
Yeah.
Because in class 7, I remember I was having a conversation with my mom, and she still used to wear her ring, and I used to be like, why are you wearing her ring? And she went on this, it was like a rant, but not like a rant. She was saying, don't you know that women who are divorced in this society, people look down on them, you lose friends, I'm afraid I'll lose my job, I don't want people to know that I'm divorced. And it really hurt me, because I felt like, but it's two people in, like, if it's going to happen to you, then let it happen to also the man you are with. I felt it was so unfair. So from then on, I had this mentality of, I don't want to depend on a man to the level that they will mess me up. The only place you're going to come into my life is companionship. Like, I'll be completely independent from you, in a way that if you left, it was like I lost a nail, like but and I made it my mission. And this was when I was in class 7. I remember even saying remember I'm a kid, so I remember saying me, when I get a husband, and then we build a house, ataleta mchanga, mimi nilete kokoto, ataleta mawe, mimi nilete, you get, so that siku moja akiniambia atitoka kwa nyumba yangu, I'm like, no, beba kokoto yako, mimi nibeba, like, there was no way this man was going to come into my life and blindsight me in any way, because I saw that happening to my mom. So this need of, like, independency, like, I don't need you, like, you're just a by the way in my life. I also had that attitude going into relationships, and I used to let them know, by the way, like, if you leave, I'm cool. I'm good. I'm, like, whatever. You don't faze me. You don't do anything to me.
Okay. You saying, teka mchanga neke sijui kokoto. Do you know me? I used to say, I'll buy my own house. I still say it to date. I will buy my own house. You will buy your own house. We will jenga how for our kids. And then when we have issues, everyone akona place yake. So at the end of the day, like, I have nothing, And let me just go back a bit. When I did not date up until I got to first year. after Primo I wasn't dating. That was a close friend. Let me just say that. And when I got to campus, when I was in high school, I used to get all those love letters. But I wasn't dating no one. All the men were my best friends. You are just
Friend
my best
zone.
friend. You know, you.
Well, ulianza friend zone in high school.
And the funniest thing is actually there's a guy who waited for me for 7 years. I cleared high school. He waited for me in campus. Man. Anyway.
Talk about patience.
Is he still waiting?
Wait. Alinikatana uchungu.
Oh my god.
Oh god.
When I realized, oh, now I'm ready. He's like, yo, no, we are not doing this. And that's after I've cleared Campo, I've gotten my first job. And he's like, no, thank you.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
And to date, we are just there. We're like, okay, sour, then we are friends. Let us accept and move on. We are very close friends for that matter. So
Jumping on the friend zone.
so when I got to campus, and then I started dating.
Okay.
But I said dating because my friends didn't understand why I was single. And for me, it didn't matter. Like, I can stay single for years. I really don't. You know, like, it's not a big deal. I don't really have to do dates and all that. Remember I was telling you, like, I have 2 years, 3 years of being single before I think of someone else.
Yeah.
That's what happens. So now, I get to Campo, I start dating. I have rules.
Oh, okay.
I have
What rules?
and regulations.
Regulations.
Terms and agreements.
Terms and conditions. Like, what I want is what will happen.
Okay.
If we can't, like, there was no let's debate, there's no
compromise.
If we can't understand each other on that level, let's just not date. As in, it's never that serious. And that's how I actually dated in campus.
So
And
okay.
then I
Okay. You want to say something?
No, I just realized I also had that dominating sort of personality in a relationship where I felt like I had to be the decision maker. Again, this whole need of not wanting to be blindsided. Like, I needed to know what was going on.
Yeah.
And those decisions needed to be by me so that I feel comfortable with whatever was happening in the relationship.
Yeah. For the longest time, that's how I dated. And I was okay with you not being okay with it, and you could walk out. I mean, I grew up with who? A single parent. I was bred by who? My family members.
Yeah.
You are just an addition that I can live without, you know? Not until heartbreaks happened and you're like, oh, so they actually do matter. So these men actually do matter, you know? Basically, that's how my relationships were. Are they like that still? I'm trying, but I'm more of just an independent person. Like, I know what I want, and I know how I want it, and it will take an extra mature person who's soft to help me bend.
Okay.
But otherwise, I'm just a strong-willed person.
Now that we're talking about the realization of how we acted, why we acted, it was because of that. So for me, I think I got to realize why I was running. I think, and from the time I realized why I was running, that's when then I connected why I was emotional. Was in 2018. In 2018, I lost someone who loved me. But me, I wasn't in that space.
Yeah.
Me, I was like, you do you. So this guy, told you guys I was on flight mode, like always.
Yeah.
So this guy comes to me. He's been trying to date me for like a year. Like, and me, I'm like, no, I'm not feeling your vibe.
Yeah.
So he tells me, I just don't want to date you. I want us to have a serious thing that could possibly
Lead to marriage.
I'm like, hey, marriage? Are you kidding me? Marriage? How? That's not happening. I lost this guy, and I realized I didn't love him, so I made the right decision not to,
indulge.
Indulge. I did not love him in that way. But then a year later, I lost someone who truly loved me, like, sincerely. Like, alinipenda, like, sincerely. He was very honest and genuine in his love for me. And after I lost him, that's when I realized I can't keep running my whole life.
How did you lose them? They passed on, or
people will know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
But just for the record, so the first guy married someone else, and then the second guy died.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So after that, that's when I realized, okay, I can't keep running. So I was like, wait, what's happening? And then the realization came. Like I realized, okay, so I've been running all my life
Yeah.
because of daddy issues, because my dad left, my dad wasn't present, and that's why I didn't want any man who appeared to be serious in my life, because I thought they would leave as well.
Wow. Okay. This guy, we genuinely loved each other, and one time he took me to his sister's place. His sister is so chill, so cool, so nice, and she had a guy. Then they were just in a really serious relationship, but they eventually got married. So either way, so we went there. He was helping out with something in the house, and then because the sister also knows me from like way back. So it wasn't an issue. So we used to go and see her. So this specific time, so I don't like doing house chores, but that attitude did not come from me not knowing. It came from feeling like, oh, I'm a woman and I need to do this to cater to a man, and I'm not going to do this for any man because men ain't shit. Men ain't shit, and I'm not going to do it to someone who's going to abandon me with children. You know, like it was just coming from a very bitter point, and so I completely like like at that point I never used to do house chores, even when I used to go and visit other people. But you see, it was rude, right? So when I went there, I remember the guy pointed it out. I was like, yo, like we're not saying that you be the maid, just like help out, like offer to wash dishes or offer to, you get. And I was angry. I remember we got into a fight about it in that house. I was so angry. So one time the guy comes, the guy for the sister comes home, and I remember seeing her opening the door, and then they embraced, and then they went into the room. He came out in like a casual kind of comfortable clothes, because he was in an official attire. So he was now comfortable. She went to the kitchen, made some tea, there was some snacks, akamletea, and then they sat down. They were sitting and laughing and just talking. It was like none of us existed. Everyone else was like they weren't in the house, like it was just them, and you could tell. And it was like that moment I realized I had never seen that.
Wow.
My dad left at a very early age that I don't remember seeing my mother do that ever. Like I didn't know how to treat, and I didn't know how a man should treat a woman. I had never seen it, and it hit me. I was like, why? Because it seemed so beautiful. It wasn't even about, oh, alikuwa napika, oh, alikuwa na... No, like it was so beautiful seeing her serving someone she loved, and seeing this man serving her because he loved her. And I was like, that is what I want. And I realized I needed to change, because if I didn't, I'd bring this pain into my relationship to someone who didn't even know about it. So when I saw it, I didn't even tell her. Even like the guy I was with didn't know, but it was life changing. So from then on, I even remember saying, I want to heal. I remember telling the guy, and he didn't even know where it was coming from. I just remember telling him, I really want to heal, and I'm going to work on myself.